Fart is a word that I don't use much. That's mainly because there are so many amusing synonyms and euphemisms. Let's start with the definition of fart. So let's go over to the Oxford Compact English Dictionary. Electro, exceeding, false, fan, farrier, farrow, fart. 1. Emit wind from the anus. 2. Behave foolishly. 3. An unpleasant person. Weirdly, when I wrote the script for this particular video, I capitalised the word anus. I think I probably just wanted, although I'm now only telling you that because I wanted to say the word anus again. Anus. Just such a fun word to say. So this is all pretty straightforward, plain sailing sort of thing, as you might say. But as I said before, the fun really starts when you get into the synonyms and the euphemisms for the word fart. You see, there aren't that many synonyms really, but because of the scatological nature of this particular phrase, there is a whole geography, a whole landscape of euphemisms with which we can draw joy from. So, synonyms. Thesaurus.com only lists 3, and I know that there are other sources which list quite a lot more, but I would say that actually those others are probably euphemisms and not synonyms. These are probably euphemisms, I guess, in some respects, because fart is quite it's seen as an unpleasant word. I'm tying myself in knots here. So, the synonyms for, according to Thesaurus.com, are wind, gas, and vapours. Cool. I can honestly say that during the research into this video, I've laughed myself silly most of this morning and most of last night as well. In fact, I laughed so much that I actually called one of the people who lives in the flat above me down so that I could share some of those euphemisms with her. The main source for all of this, of course, is the Profanosaurus Rex by Viz. This is quite an old edition. I would recommend getting a newer one if you're interested in big dictionaries of swearing, but also if you're interested in the English language, because it's a constant source of joy for me, but also it shows that people are always creating. They're just always creating, you know? So we have to guff, to horse and cart, which is Cockney rhyming slang, to step on a duck, to bottom burp, and to rip one. To produce an air biscuit, to produce an after-dinner speech. To drop your guts, or to produce trouser gas. To drown a motorcycle, or to shoot a bunny. And sometimes, when things are a little bit touch and go, if you know what I mean, to blow bubbles. There are many, many more, and I would thoroughly suggest that you go to the Viz website just to get a taste of that, or well, I don't know whether you want a taste of that. But now all of these are relatively amusing, I suppose, and as I say, I have managed to get a great amount of joy out of them, the euphemisms for farting. But actually, the most amount of joy that I've got is I found a collection of phrases which you say after someone has farted. So let's imagine that you're either a friend or a colleague or somebody that you know, or maybe even someone you don't know. Maybe you're in a train station or a bus stop, or maybe even on a bus, and someone lets rip quite loudly. You then might say, "Keep shouting, sir, we'll find you." Or, "Speak up, caller, you're through." Or maybe you'll have to buy it now, you've ripped it. If you like Benedict Cumberbatch, you might say, "That's an excellent suggestion, Dr. Watson." Or, "Anybody injured?" If you're a cricket fan, you might say, "That's a confident appeal by the Australians there." If you're an automobile enthusiast, you might say, "Give it a bit more choke, it almost started." As always, if you have any of your own suggestions for this particular sort of after dinner speech, then maybe stick them in the comments down below, and I will happily laugh at them. Antonyms, well, to cork or to hold back, or something which is perfumed, or according to Power Thesaurus, a good person or a nice person, or something of odour. I mean, usually I associate the word odour with something which is sort of bodily and maybe not pleasant, but apparently odour is a good antonym according to Power Thesaurus. The etymology is fairly clear. It goes back to an Old English word, feortan, which is F-E-O-R-T-A-N. If you study Old English and you know how to say that properly, then please let me know. And then that goes back to a German word, which is Farsen, and then that goes back to an Old Norse word, which is frita, which is F-R-E-T-A. Again, if you speak Old Norse and you know how to say that, please let me know. In fact, I could just go on and on because it's fairly clear that all of the Indo-European languages have a word which is sort of similar to fart, and that's because fart is considered an imitative word. That's a hard word to say, imitative. Imitative. Basically, that means that the word imitates the sound. Last bonus points go to the word flatulent, which is, I guess you would say, an alternative word or the proper word for, or flatulence would be the proper word for this. Anyway, that goes back to an old Latin word, which is flatus. Flatus means blowing or puffing, and if that sounds familiar, then it is, because it's the root word to inflate. So next time you're blowing up a balloon, maybe have a think about that, yeah? Anyway, if you're watching this on Instagram, it's not weird and small anymore because they've changed the format. You can find an archive of all of these videos on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then maybe go and give me a follow on Instagram. And then sometimes I might do something that's vaguely interesting. Either way, have a good week. This has been entirely fun and I hope that you've had some joy too. Take care. Bye-bye.